Have you ever wondered why a sealed can of condensed milk can sit there for years, even decades, and still be safe to use? No refrigeration, no obvious preservatives, just sitting there, quietly breaking the rules of how food is supposed to behave. Fresh milk turns in a matter of days. Leave it out and bacteria move in almost instantly. That's not a theory. It's a certainty. So here's the unsettling part. Condensed milk starts from that same fragile liquid, same origin, same biology. Yet, somewhere along the way, something changes so completely that time seems to lose its grip on it. No spoilage, no visible decay, just silence, year after year. What exactly happened inside that can? And this is QC Project. Simple things. At its core, condensed milk is simply milk that has been transformed into a more concentrated, stable form, without losing what makes it milk in the first place. It still carries the same fundamental components: water, fat, proteins, and natural milk sugars. But instead of existing as a thin, easily perishable liquid, everything inside becomes more tightly packed, more controlled, more deliberate. What makes condensed milk distinct isn't just its thickness or sweetness, it's its consistency. Every spoonful feels uniform, predictable, almost engineered to behave the same way every time. It pours slowly, coats surfaces evenly, and blends smoothly into coffee, desserts, or dough without separating. There's a kind of quiet precision to it. Despite its dense texture, it doesn't feel heavy in a chaotic way. It's structured, balanced. The sweetness isn't random either. It's integrated into the liquid itself, not sitting on top or apart from it. That's why condensed milk doesn't just taste sweet. It tastes cohesive. In many ways, condensed milk sits in a space between liquid and solid, between fresh and preserved. It's no longer just milk, but it hasn't become something entirely different either. It's a controlled version of milk, refined, stabilized, and simplified into something that behaves with remarkable consistency. But this controlled, stable form of milk didn't appear by accident. It was the result of a very real problem people once struggled to solve. Long before refrigerators became a standard part of everyday life, keeping milk from spoiling was a constant challenge. In the mid-19th century, this problem was more than just inconvenient, it was dangerous. Milk often carried bacteria, spoiled quickly, and was difficult to transport over long distances without turning unsafe. In growing cities, where fresh dairy couldn't always arrive in time, people needed a more reliable solution. That solution began to take shape in the 1850s, when innovators started experimenting with ways to remove water from milk and make it last longer. The breakthrough came when the process was refined into what we now recognize as condensed milk, a form that was not only more stable but also easier to store, transport, and use. Its impact became especially clear during times of crisis. During wars and long military campaigns, condensed milk proved invaluable. It was compact, calorie-dense, and didn't require refrigeration, making it ideal for feeding soldiers in unpredictable conditions. At the same time, it began to appear in civilian life, especially in regions where fresh milk was scarce or unreliable. As global trade expanded, condensed milk traveled far beyond its place of origin. It found a home in kitchens across Europe, Asia, and the Americas. In tropical regions, where heat made fresh milk difficult to preserve, it quickly became a staple. By the 20th century, condensed milk was no longer just a practical solution. It had become a familiar ingredient worldwide. Different cultures adapted it in their own ways, giving it new roles and meanings far beyond its original purpose. What started as a response to a simple problem, how to keep milk from spoiling, quietly evolved into something much bigger, a global food that crossed borders, climates, and generations. To understand why condensed milk behaves so differently, you have to look at what's quietly been taken away and what has been carefully added back in. Milk, in its natural state, is mostly water, and that water is exactly what allows bacteria to grow, multiply, and eventually spoil it. Remove a large portion of that water, and you don't just make milk thicker, you fundamentally change the environment inside it. But that's only part of the story. As the water content drops, everything else becomes more concentrated, especially the natural sugars. In sweetened condensed milk, additional sugar is introduced, pushing that concentration even further. At a certain point, the environment becomes so dense that microorganisms struggle to survive. It's not that bacteria disappear entirely, it's that they no longer have the conditions they need to function. Scientists describe this in terms of water activity, a measure of how much free water is available for microbial growth. In condensed milk, that number drops low enough to slow or even halt most biological activity. At the same time, the thick, uniform structure helps keep the remaining components stable, preventing separation or rapid change. Finally, the golden liquid is cooled rapidly to encourage tiny lactose crystals to form, giving it that signature smooth texture. It is then vacuum sealed into cans, protected from light and air for years. What started as a perishable liquid is now protected in a stable, self-contained environment, ready to sit on a shelf for months or even years without changing in any significant way. What you're left with is not just thicker milk. It's a carefully balanced system, one where water is limited, sugar is dominant, and everything inside exists in a kind of controlled stillness. And in that stillness, time loses much of its usual power. Once the can is sealed and placed on a shelf, the story of condensed milk doesn't end. It often begins a different kind of conversation. Because for something that lasts so long, people naturally start to question it. One of the most common misconceptions is that condensed milk must be loaded with artificial preservatives. It feels like the only logical explanation. But in reality, its stability comes primarily from the way it's processed, especially the reduction of water and the high concentration of sugar, rather than from added chemicals. Another point of confusion lies in the idea that it never spoils. In truth, condensed milk doesn't last forever. If the can is damaged, improperly stored, or opened and left exposed, spoilage can still occur. What makes it different is not immortality, but resistance. It slows down the processes that would normally happen much faster in fresh milk. There's also an ongoing debate about its nutritional value. Some view condensed milk as overly sweet and associate it with excess sugar consumption. Others see it as a convenient source of energy and flavor, especially in regions where refrigeration or fresh dairy isn't always accessible. Both perspectives have merit, depending on how and how much it's used. In the end, condensed milk sits in an interesting space between trust and skepticism. It looks simple, but behaves in ways that feel unfamiliar. And that gap between what we expect and what we observe is exactly where these questions begin. And perhaps it's exactly that mix of simplicity and misunderstanding that allowed condensed milk to quietly weave itself into cultures around the world. What began as a practical solution slowly became something more personal, something people adapted, reinterpreted, and made their own. In many parts of the world, condensed milk isn't just an ingredient. It's a familiar taste tied to everyday rituals. In Southeast Asia, for example, it became inseparable from coffee culture, dripping slowly into strong, dark brews, softening bitterness with a thick, steady sweetness. In Latin America, it found its way into desserts, adding richness and depth to recipes that are now considered traditional. Across different regions, it appears in everything from shaved ice to baked goods, each use shaped by local preferences and available resources. Its appeal is easy to understand. It's shelf-stable, versatile, and consistent, qualities that made it especially valuable in places where fresh dairy was not always accessible. Over time, condensed milk stopped being seen as a substitute and started becoming a choice. It didn't replace fresh milk. It created its own identity, one that fits into street food, home cooking, and even small daily habits, like a morning cup of coffee or a quick dessert at the end of the day. In that sense, condensed milk is more than just preserved milk. It's a quiet example of how a simple food can travel, adapt, and eventually become part of how people experience taste itself. And once something becomes part of everyday life, people naturally begin to ask a simple question. How do you know if it's good? There's a surprisingly simple 10-second rule that can turn anyone into a quick judge of condensed milk quality. Start with the can itself. A high-quality can should be perfectly smooth and intact, with no dents or deformities, especially around the seams. Even small dents can compromise the inner lining, creating conditions where gas buildup or microbial contamination may occur long before the can is opened. Next, give it a gentle shake. Good sweetened condensed milk is dense and viscous, so instead of a light splashing sound, you should feel a slow, heavy movement inside. That weight tells you the internal structure is stable and properly concentrated. If it feels too liquid or sloshes easily, something may be off in its composition or storage. Finally, check the production date. While condensed milk has a long shelf life, it continues to change over time. Natural chemical reactions gradually darken its color and can alter its texture. Fresher cans tend to have a lighter, creamier appearance and a smoother consistency. In just a few seconds, you're no longer relying on labels or branding. You're reading the product itself. And maybe that's the most interesting part of all. Sometimes, the simplest things around us are the ones we understand the least. A small can of condensed milk doesn't look like much, but inside it is a story of science, necessity, and human adaptation, quietly working together to create something that can last, travel, and become part of everyday life across the world. So the next time you pick up a can, you're not just choosing something sweet, you're holding a solution refined over generations. And this is QC Project, Simple Things. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the simple things in everyday life. Because what you see is never the whole story. There's always something deeper beneath the surface. See you in the next one.